Hello everyone and welcome to Roja's Language YouTube channel. My name is Roya and you're watching our General English course Level A2. In this course, I teach the textbook American English File 1, 3rd edition. Please don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel now so that you'll get the future videos of this course and boost your language skills. Let's get started! Great, so let's start with an overview from Unit 4B from morning to night. We will start with a vocabulary section with the topic daily routine, and you will learn the related words. Then we will go for a grammar section and learn about the prepositions of time and place. Then we will work on pronunciation, linking, and connected speech. After that, we will have a reading and listening section. We will have a text about the busy lives of a mother and son, and also an audio file. And then finally, we will have a speaking and writing section. The speaking will be you talking about your day or your daily routine, and then a writing which is about your favorite day, and you will learn how to write an article about your favorite day. So let's start with the warm-up. We have 2 clocks here and I want to ask you about the time. What time is it? Before you tell me or before I show you the time, if you don't know how to talk about the time, you need to watch our other video, a previous video, which is related to the 2nd episode of Practical English. In that video, which I will put up here, I have taught you how to talk about the time. So now tell me, what does the first clock show? It's 9 o'clock. Very good. And the second one? It's 7:30. Or you can also say it's 7:30. Now tell me, what time do you get up in the morning? To give a complete answer, you need to say, I get up at, for example, 9 o'clock, or I get up at 7:30, or I get up at 7:30. The important thing is that the preposition here is at. You do something at a particular time, at 6 o'clock, at 10 p.m., for example. You can have dinner at 10 p.m. or you can go to the gym at 2:30. Section 1, Vocabulary. Cool, so now it's time to go to page 32, Unit 4B from morning to night, and start with the first vocabulary section, daily routine. Please look at part A. In this part, we have some verb phrases that you need to number. You need to listen to track 4.7 to the sounds and number the phrases 1 to 6. So by listening to the sounds, you will understand what is happening in each case. The first one is already done for you. So the person is waking up. So the verb here would be wake up. Now please pause this video, listen to track 4.7, and then come back to check the answers. Let's check the answers. Number 1 is wake up, as I told you. Number 2, take a shower. Number 3, get dressed. Number 4, have a coffee or tea. Number 5, have breakfast. And number 6, go to work or school. Now, I want you to tell me what order do you do these things in the morning? Tell me. You can use these verbs to start your sentences. First, for example, I take a shower. Then I get dressed. After that, I go to work. So we use these words to connect your sentences to each other, to say in what order you do the things. please take some time and say a few things about your morning routine. Please go to page 156, the vocabulary bank for daily routine. And on this page, you will see some pictures related to two people, busy Belinda and chill Charlie. Okay, so first we need to see what they mean. So Belinda and Charlie are names, but busy and chill are adjectives. So busy is an adjective meaning that you have a lot of work to do. If you're busy, you work very hard or you give your attention to something. So you cannot do anything else because you are focusing on something specific. And chill means relaxed. Now, busy Belinda means Belinda, who is always busy. And we will look at her daily routine. And then we have chill Charlie, who is a relaxed person. And we will also look at his routine. So now first, please focus on Belinda and number the phrases which are related to the picture. So based on the pictures, you need to number the phrases. Please pause this video and do it. Before we check the answers, I'd like to clarify some phrases for you. So go to work means that you leave the house to get to your office or to the place where you work every day. But get to work means arrive at work. So when you leave the house, you go to work. But when you arrive at your workplace, you get to work. Get here means arrive. And then go home means leave school or work and go to your house. But get home means arrive home. The meaning of the verb get here is arrive, but it has many different meanings. So you have to pay attention to the meaning of the sentence to understand what it really means. Let's check busy Belinda's daily routine. Number 1, wake up at 7 o'clock. Number 2, take a shower. Number 3, get dressed. Number 4, put on makeup. And before I continue, please try to repeat these phrases out loud so that you will help your pronunciation. Number 5, have a coffee. Number 6, go to work by bus. Number 7, get to work. 8, start work at 8:30. 9, have lunch at work. 10, finish work at 6:30. 11, go shopping. 12, get home late. 13, do the housework. 14, have pizza for dinner. 15, check emails. And 16, go to bed. So now it's time for Chill Charlie's routine. Please pause the video and number the phrases based on the pictures. Number 17, get up at 8 o'clock. 18, shave. 19, take the dog for a walk. 20, have breakfast. 21, walk to work. 22, go home early. 23, go to Spanish classes. 24, see friends. 25, make dinner. 26, relax. 27, take a bath. And 28, sleep for 8 hours. It's very important to learn these phrases which are related to daily routine and use them exactly as they are. All right, so now we have a box here. It's related to the verb have. Let's see what it says. For family and possessions, we use the verb have. For example, I have 3 children, or he has a big house. But that's only one of have's meaning, one of the meanings of the verb have. It also has another meaning which is used for activities. For example, I have lunch at 1:30. In this case, have means eat. And she has breakfast in the morning. The same here, has means eat. But remember, we don't use the verb eat with meals. We normally use it with food. For example, you can say I eat pizza or I eat a hamburger. But if you say a meal like lunch, breakfast, dinner, you use have. You say I have lunch or I have breakfast or dinner. You can also use have for food and drink. For example, have a coffee or have a sandwich. So, now, are you more like busy Belinda or chill Charlie? Which one or whose daily routine is more similar to your daily routine? Section 2, Pronunciation. Back to page 32, this time pronunciation section. So we're working on linking today. Let's focus on the first box about connected speech. Remember, when people speak, they usually link words together. That's how native speakers speak. Sometimes 3 linked words sound like one word. For example, I get up at 7. That's a sentence, but this is not how a native speaker would say it. A native speaker would say, I get up at 7. That's connected speech. And get, up, and at are linked. So that's what we call linking. We link the words so that they sound like one word. I get up at 7. Try to pronounce this sentence a few times. I get up at 7. I get up at 7. Nice. Now for part A, please listen to track 4.9 and write 5 sentences in the gaps. The number of words are also written for you. Pause this video and write the sentences. Let's look at the sentences together now. Please repeat after me. He wakes up at 8. He wakes up at 8. It's better for you to repeat the connected speech, okay? Because that's what we're focusing on. He wakes up at 8. She works in an office. She has a coffee at 11. He has a lot of homework. She has an interesting day. Please try to repeat them a few times. The more you repeat them, the better you'll get at pronouncing them and linking the words. Now, track 4.10, sentence stress and rhythm is also important here. You need to listen to this track and repeat the sentences and try to link the words with that sound, with that sign that you see on your book. It's a green sign that says which words you need to link. The words in bigger bold print are also stressed. Don't forget that. So, I can read the sentences and you can repeat after me. I get up at 7. I take a shower. I go to work. I have a sandwich for lunch. I get home at 6. I make the dinner. I go to bed at 10. What a life. Section 3, Reading and Listening. So in this section, we will focus on a text about the busy lives of a mother and son. We will start by looking at the glossary, which has some new words that you will find in the text with their definitions. It's very important to know the meaning of these words or phrases so that you can understand the text better. Cardiac surgery. It's an operation to repair somebody's heart. So what is an operation? When a doctor cuts a body in order to repair, remove, or replace an unhealthy part, that's an operation. So surgery means an operation, and cardiac means related to a person's heart. So if we have an operation on a person's heart, we call it cardiac surgery. A lecture is a talk to a group of people to teach them about something. For example, at a university. So it's when a professor, for example, in a class starts talking about a topic, when he or she wants to teach the student something. Be on call means be available for work if necessary. So if somebody is on call, it means that they're ready all the time to work if it is necessary. So this normally happens for doctors or nurses. Do research means study something to learn more about it. Do research. It's very important to know that the verb do is suitable for research. So that's also a collocation. Now, let's read the introduction of this text together. Marjan Jahangiri, originally from Iran, is one of the only women professors of cardiac surgery in Europe. She does more than 300 operations a year. She lives in London with her husband and their 17-year-old son, Dariush. So now we know about Marjan. She's an Iranian woman and she's a professor of cardiac surgery in Europe. So you will now read about a typical working day in Marjan's life, and then after that you will listen to an interview with Dariush, her son, about a day in his life. But for now, take some time to read the text. Read the article in 5 minutes. So pause this video, spend 5 minutes reading the text, and then after you're done, you need to answer this question. How do you think Marjan feels at the end of the day? So now you should have finished reading, and now we can answer the question. Marjan probably feels very tired, but happy. So now on the next page, page 33, you can see some questions in part B. So you need to read the article again, and this time answer the questions from memory. When you're done, you can come back to this video and we will check the answers. Let's look at the answers. Number 1, what time does Marjan get up? Between 6 and 6:30 a.m. 2, what does she do when she's at work? She has meetings and lectures. She does operations. Number 3, where does she have lunch? At her desk. Number 4, What does she do in the evening? She has dinner with her son, she does research, she watches the news on TV, she plays the piano, sometimes she does operations. 5. Is her job a 9-to-5 job? Why or why not? No. She works long hours, sometimes during the night, and she often works on weekends. 6. Does she see her family a lot? She sees her son a lot, but not her husband. 7. How does she relax? She plays the piano every day, late at night. She also goes to the hairstylist. And 8. Does she like her job? Yes, she loves it. Now let's read together. Now I'm going to read the text for you. It's also a good idea that you read it out loud as well. Can you describe your daily routine? I get up between 6 and 6:30 a.m. I get to work at 7 and my meetings usually start at 7:30. So she says I get to work at 7. That means she arrives at work at 7. The meaning of get here is arrive. After that, I don't have a break. I have lunch at my desk. Break is a time when you can rest when you're working during the day. So at that time you can have lunch or do whatever you like. You don't work. I often do 2 operations a day, and I also have lectures and more meetings. At home, I have dinner with my son. Between 9:30 and 11:30 p.m., I do research and I watch the news on TV. 1 or 2 nights a week, I'm on call. So I'm on call, it means I'm ready to work if it is necessary. So I probably need to do operations during the night. I often work on weekends too, but that's okay. I think I have a great life because I love my work. How do you balance your work with your family life? So balance means organize things. Balance work with family life means how do you handle things at work and also your family life so that everything is good in both. I spend a lot of time with my son. I want him to learn about hard work and good values, and I want to be an example for him. My husband is away a lot, but we talk on the phone every day. My husband is away means he's usually on trips. If somebody is away, it means he's not here, he's not beside me, maybe on a trip. I think one reason why I'm successful in my professional life is because he isn't at home all the time. Professional life means work life. What do you do to relax? I play the piano for an hour every day, late at night. I think it helps me with my operations. It's technical in the same way. I also go to the hairstylist twice a week. I do a lot of research there. They turn the music off for me, and I use the time to read all my academic papers. So here, academic paper means an academic article that you have written and is now published, most probably, in a journal. So, now please look at this list that I have on the slide. I have some verb phrases here, but the verb is not there. You need to tell me what are the verbs of these phrases. Please spend some time and think about that. Maybe you write them down, and then when we check the answers, you can check. So let's check them. Be away or be at home. They're opposites. Do research. Go to the hairdresser or hairstylist. Have a break or have a meeting. Play the piano. Speak on the phone and spend time with someone. Now on page 33, we have the section related to Dariush. Read the information about Dariush's day. Think about what the missing words or phrases are. Let's look at a glossary before you do that. So, the tube is the London subway. That's what they call it in London. Choir is a group of people who sing together. Percussion means musical instruments, for example, drums. And A-levels are exams that UK students take in the final year of school. So, now please look at the information about Dariush and try to guess what the missing words or phrases are. Now, please listen to track 4.11 and complete the blanks 1 to 12. Let's check the answers now. Number 1, at 7:30 he gets up, he has breakfast and then he goes to school by tube. At 8:20 he gets to school, means he arrives at school. At 9 classes start, he has 4 or 5 classes before lunch. Then in the afternoon, at 1 p.m., he has lunch at school, and at 1:45, his classes start again. At 4:15, he finishes school. He doesn't go home then. He studies in the library or plays music on Tuesdays. Or plays music. On Tuesdays, that's a new sentence because O is capital. On Tuesdays, he sings in the school choir. And on Thursdays, he plays percussion in the school orchestra. In the evening, at 6, he gets home. He takes a shower and then has dinner. After dinner, he does homework for 2 or 3 hours. At 10:30, he goes to bed. So on this slide, we will just focus on the script, 4.11. You can also find it in the student book on page 119. So I is the interviewer and D is Dariush. What time do you get up in the morning? I get up at about 7:30. How do you feel when you get up? I know 7:30 isn't that early, but it's early for me, and I usually feel tired and in a little bit of a bad mood. So he says 7:30 isn't that early. It means it's not too early to feel bad, but it's early for me. And I'm in a little bit of a bad mood. So here the phrase is to be in a bad mood. I'm in a bad mood. He's in a bad mood. To be in a bad mood means to feel bad, to feel sad or tired or whatever negative adjective. Do you have breakfast? Absolutely. I have cereal and milk and some bread with honey or jam. I love honey. Do you walk to school? No, it's very far away. I go to school by tube. That means by the subway. I usually get to school about 8:20. I like to be early. Now you tell me, what is the opposite of early? Exactly, late. So you can be early or you can be late. What time does your first class start? It starts at 9. I have 4 or sometimes 5 classes before lunch. Where do you have lunch? I usually have lunch at school at about 1 o'clock. I know people usually say that school food is terrible, but actually at my school the food is really good. Terrible means very, very bad. And after lunch, we start classes again at 1:45. I usually have 2 or 3 classes in the afternoon. What time does school finish? At 4:15. But I don't go home then. The phrase go home, right? Remember, we don't say go to home. Home is an exception. We don't use the preposition to before home. So you can just go home. I stay at school to do extra things. I study in the library or play music. What kind of music? Well, I sing in the school choir on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I play percussion in the orchestra. I love music. It's my main hobby. Main means the most important, number 1. So what time do you usually get home? At about 6 o'clock. What's the first thing you do? I take a shower and then I have dinner. And then, of course, homework. How much homework do you have? 2 or 3 hours. It's my last year at a school and I have my A-levels this summer. So A-levels, as you remember, means the exams, the final exams. I need to do really well to get into a good university. Do you watch TV in the evening? No, never. I don't have time. When I finish my homework, I practice the piano and then I go to bed. What time do you go to bed? At about 10:30. I'm usually so tired and I go to sleep right away. All I really do these days is study, eat, and sleep. So no social media or anything like that? Well, I do spend a little bit of time on Facebook, but not much, I promise. Good. Now, what do Marjan and Dariush have in common? To have something in common means to be like somebody in a certain way or to have the same interests as somebody. یعنی چیزی با کسی مشترک داشتن. What do Marjan and Dariush have in common? And who do you think is more tired in the evening? So, Marjan and Dariush both have long days and work hard. They both like what they do. Marjan is probably more tired. She has less time to relax and has more responsibility. Now, do you think busy people are usually happy? Section 4, Grammar. Okay, on page 33, Section 4, Grammar, we're focusing on prepositions of time and place. We will also go to page 130 later to focus on the grammar bank 4B, but for now, let's focus on part A. You need to complete the sentences with at, in, on, or to, which come from the listening section. Please do this in 2 minutes and then we will check the answers. Let's check now. Number 1, at. Number 2, to. 3, at. 4, in. 5, on. You can also repeat the sentences. I get up at 7:30. I usually go to school by tube. I have lunch at school. I usually have 2 or 3 classes in the afternoon. I sing in the school choir on Tuesdays. All right. So now you can either go to page 130, the grammar bank, or listen to me because I want to start explaining the grammar. We have prepositions of time and place, but let's start with prepositions of time first. We have 3 main prepositions of time: at, in, and on. So, we use in for parts of the day. For example, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. But there is an exception, which is night. So we don't say in the night. We say at night. Remember that night is an exception. We also use in for seasons. For example, in the summer, in the winter. We use it for months, like in December. When were you born? I was born in April. And also for years, like in 2018, in 1999. The other preposition of time is on. We use it for days. For example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I go to the gym on Mondays. If we also add a part of the day to the day, again we use on. So for example, you can say Monday morning, on Monday morning. I go to work on Monday morning. Or I go shopping on Thursday evening. It doesn't matter if you add part of a day, you should still use on. Or we use it for dates. For example, January 1st. On January 1st, we have a meeting on December 2nd, and also the weekend. So you, for example, visit your relatives on the weekend. The last preposition is at. We use it for times of the day, like I told you before. For example, I get up at 6 o'clock, and also the word night, at night. So at 3 o'clock, at noon or midnight, that's also like night. At lunchtime or at night. For these words, we should use at. So now time for prepositions of place. Again, we can use in and at actually for places, but we also have 2 to talk about places. Now, at and in are used for positions. At home, at work, at school. So for example, today I stay at home, or I am at work. My children are at school. It shows their position. In is used for other places. For example, he works in an office, or he is in a house. She is in her room, etc. We can use in or at with some public places. For example, a restaurant or the movies. For example, he has lunch in a restaurant or at a restaurant. And we use to for movement or direction. She goes to the gym. We don't say she goes at the gym. So when you move toward a place, you go to the direction of a place, you use to. She goes to the gym. But remember, we also have some exceptions. The exception is home. We don't say I go to home. You say I go home. I stay home. Or I leave home. Now, on page 131, we have some practice for you. Please look at 4B, part A, and complete with at, in, or on. Do this exercise in 2 to 3 minutes, and then play the video again to check. Let's check now. Number 1, or maybe let's start with the example. On Saturday. Saturday is a day, so we use on. Number 1, in the evening. 2, on September 22nd, that's a date. Number 3, in the summer, that's a season. Number 4, at 7:30, that's a time. Number 5, at night. Number 6, on Wednesday afternoon. Number 7, on the weekend. 8, in January, that's a month. And 9, in 2020, that's a year. Now for part B, again, complete with at, in, or this time to, because we need prepositions of place. Please do this in 3 minutes and then we will check. Let's check now. We go to school by bus. So that means we go to that direction, to that place. Number 1, sorry, John isn't here. He's at work. 2, it's a beautiful day. Let's go to the beach. 3, Sally's boyfriend works in a factory. 4, my brother studies math at New York University. Number 5, I go to the gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Number 6, I work in an office. 7, we live in a modern apartment. 8, it's Monday, the children are at school. 9, my father is a doctor, he works in a hospital. And 10, Jack isn't at home, he's with a friend. Good job. Now, if you go back to page 33, we have a section D or part D in the grammar section, which says listen to track 4.15 and say the time phrases with the correct preposition. So you pause this video, then play track 4.15. You will hear some phrases, but you have to add the correct preposition. For example, you will hear the weekend. You need to say on the weekend. You need to say the phrase with the correct preposition. So please do this and then come back to check your answers. So we will check them now. The weekend, on the weekend. The morning, in the morning. 7 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. Sunday, on Sunday. Night, at night. The evening, in the evening. Midnight, at midnight. The summer, in the summer. Tuesday morning, on Tuesday morning. December, in December. Section 5, Speaking and Writing. Okay, welcome to Section 5, Speaking and Writing. We will start with the speaking practice. We're going to have an interview and you're going to talk about a typical weekday. So, as you see on your book, on page 33, we have a list of questions which are not complete. So first, you need to make sure you know how to complete them. 2 words are missing in the sentences. Let's look at a first one. For example, what time? Get up. This is not a complete question, or at least not a correct question. We need to add two words to make it correct and complete. What are those two words? Do you? So, what time do you get up? The same is true for the other questions. For example, what do you do after work? Or do you relax in the evening? If that's a yes/no question. So you need to make sure you add these two words to the questions to make them right. Now, I'm going to ask the questions to you, and I want you to answer me according to your daily routine. I will pause for you so you can give me a sentence as an answer. Let's start. What time do you get up? Do you have breakfast in the morning? What do you have? How do you go to work or school? What time do you start work or school? What time do you have lunch? Where do you have lunch? Do you have a long lunch break? How long is it? What time do you finish work or school? What do you do after work or school? Do you go out during the week? Where do you go? Do you relax in the evening? What do you do? When do you do English homework? What time do you go to bed? How do you feel at the end of the day? Good job. Now, if you answered the questions with just a few words, it's good to know that if you want to improve your speaking skill, it's better to give complete answers. So always try to make a sentence when you answer a question. For example, when I ask, what time do you get up? Instead of saying at 8 o'clock, you can say, I get up at 8 o'clock. That's a complete sentence. And when you say it, you help your speaking skill. Now, I want you to ask the questions to me so that I can answer and show you how you can answer in a good way to practice speaking. Please ask the second question. Yes, I have breakfast every morning. I sometimes have oatmeal and sometimes eggs. I go to work by bus. I start work at 9 o'clock. I have lunch at 1 p.m. I have lunch at work. No, I don't have a long lunch break. It's only 30 minutes. I finish work at 5 o'clock. I go home and rest after work. Yes, I sometimes go out in the evening. I go shopping and sometimes I go to a cafe. Yes, I relax every evening. I sometimes take a nap or meditate. I'm a teacher, so I don't do English homework. I go to bed at 11 o'clock. I feel great at the end of the day. See? It's always better to answer with full sentences. We will start the writing part now. Please go to page 114 to the writing section about an article. So here we will learn to describe habitual actions. Please look at the article, My Favorite Day. What's the meaning of the word favorite? It means best liked or most enjoyed. So my favorite day means the day I like most or I enjoy most. Be careful that favorite has two spellings. The first spelling on the left, favorite, is the American spelling. And in the British spelling, we add a U after O. Both of them are correct. Now, please look at part A. Read Christina's article and find her answers to questions 1 to 4. Let's look at the questions. What's your favorite day of the week and why? What do you usually do in the morning? Where do you have lunch? Who with? What do you usually do after lunch? And what do you usually do in the evening? So please pause this video, spend maybe 4 minutes to find her answers to these questions. Let's check now. So for number 1, what's your favorite day of the week? She says Saturday because it's the first day of the weekend. For number 2, what do you usually do in the morning? She says, I stay in bed until about 10:30. Then I usually go shopping with a friend. For number 3, where do you have lunch, who with, and what do you usually do after lunch? She says, I often have lunch at my mother's house with her and my brother. After lunch, I sometimes study from about 4 to 6. And for the last question, what do you usually do in the evening? She says, I usually go out with my friends. We often go to the movies, and after that, we have a pizza or tacos. Now you tell me, is Christina's Saturday like yours? So before we continue with this writing section, I'd like to teach you a few words and how we use them in sentences. We have after, before, and after that. After and before are prepositions and also opposites. They're the opposite of each other. They're used with a noun or a verb phrase. You can say after work, before lunchtime, or you can use it with a verb phrase. I always have a cup of coffee after lunch, or I always have a cup of milk before I go to bed, or before going to bed. That can be a verb phrase. But after that is an alternative to the word then. So after that actually means then. But you can use after to connect to clauses. For example, you cannot say I get up and after I have breakfast. You need to use after that to connect the two clauses. You can say I get up and after that I have breakfast. Another word is during. So during means from the beginning to the end of a period. For example, during the weekend, I rest and do all my homework. Then is used with a verb phrase. It can go at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. For example, you can say, I take a bath, then I go to bed. Or it can be a sentence, like I take a bath and then I go to bed. Now, you please look at your book again on page 114, this time part B. We have some highlighted words in the article, in the text. Look at them to check that you understand them and read the information box. So I already explained the information box to you. Now you need to use them to complete the sentences 1 to 6. You need to use these words. So please pause this video and do this in 2 minutes. Let's check now. Number 1, Jack usually gets up at 7:30, then he takes a shower. You can also use after that here. So after that, he takes a shower. Number 2, after lunch, I often sleep for half an hour. Number 3, she always takes a bath before she goes to bed. Number 4, during the week, I work from 9 to 5. Number 5, I get home at about 7:30, take the dog for a walk, and after that, I have dinner. Number 6, we usually watch TV until it's time to go to bed. All right, now it's time to write your article. In part C, you can see a plan for your article. You need to plan an article called My Favorite Day. So the name of your article will be My Favorite Day. Then you need to write 4 paragraphs. Make notes to answer questions 1 to 4 in A. So do you remember the first 4 questions that we answered about Christina's day? You need to make notes for those questions and then use your notes in your article. What other information could you include to make the article interesting? So you can feel free to add more information if you like. Now, part D. Write your article, choose the ideas you want to use. Don't forget to use some of the highlighted words to link together your ideas. So the words then, after, before, after that, during, until are good words that you can use in your article. Remember to use them correctly. E. Part E says check your article. Make sure you use the highlighted words correctly. Remember that always when you write something, a piece of writing or an article, an essay, anything, you should always check it after you write it. Because when you check it, you will see that there are some mistakes that you didn't see before, you didn't pay attention to before. So it's always important to check it and edit it after you write it. Thank you so much for learning with me today. If the video was useful for you, give it a thumbs up. And please join us on Instagram, TikTok, and Telegram, where you can get more points and exercises related to the course. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.